All right, my friends, how are we? Are you ready for this conversation? So we were thinking about doing this just in a private Zoom, and then we decided that we would share it with everyone and make this a awesome conversation about the future of real estate. So here's what's interesting about Jeff and I. We get to have all these conversations all week long. We get to coach incredible agents all over the country. And our goal for today is that you walk away from here having a better understanding of what's going on out there and knowing the handful of things that are right for you. So we're going to give you a lot, but of the handful of things that are right for you to take and implement right away. There's going to be, and this is kind of jumping ahead, but there's going to be some attrition. We're going to lose agents this year. I think we're going to lose, 10% of agents across the country, if not more. So I don't want you to be one of those watching this. I want you to kick butt and take names. So I am Wayne Salmans, coach with Hero Nation Coaching and with EXP. This is Jeff Rising. Jeff is a coach with Hero Nation and owns a Remax brokerage. So Jeff, take a second, introduce yourself, who you are. And Jeff doesn't even know exactly where we're going today. I was just like, you got this. We'll rock and roll. So take a second, introduce yourself, my friend.
Good. Yeah, Jeff Rising, coach with Hero Nation Coaching. I'm also a Remax franchise broker owner in Southeast Michigan. We just opened a mortgage company and some other exciting news coming soon, another business venture streams of income. But I've been coaching and growing my agents here for over 10 years. And we really focus on dollar productive activity. My agents average on average 43 transactions per year in a small 20,000 person town.
Yeah, it's you've done some big things, and I'm excited. One of the things that I love about you is you've implemented in the last year. Like we were at Broker Boardroom and Tribe Retreat, a year ago, and all the things you've been able to implement over the last year have been pretty amazing. The multiple streams of income, the multiple businesses, all the stuff. So I'm thrilled that you are on this conversation. So you're one of the coaches. So let me say this: if you want to jump into the Zoom with us, send me a direct message, and maybe I'll bring you in here. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. We'd love for this to be an interactive conversation and do this with you, not at you. So in the chat, if you are here, tell us where you're from. If you're watching the replay, put a little R in there. Tell us where you're from, and drop in there what you're struggling with. What is tough right now in this market for you, and we're gonna jump in. So let's get right after it, my friend. So we've got several things that we are going to share with you as we go through this. I'm gonna figure out how to present this without having it all out there. Let's see if I can do this in the right way. There we go. And I'm going to go all the way to the top. Oh, I don't know if I can get rid of this. I should be able to. I'm going to figure out how to present this in the right way. Let's see. All right. I don't know why this is going this way. It's weird. Let's see if I do it that way. See, then I lose my whole screen. All right, I'll just share it this way, and we'll figure it out. So, as we look at this world that we're living in right now, and Jeff, you probably agree, but let's go through some of the struggles right now that we see a lot of people in. So, I really see 4 big ones right now that I see most people. I feel like they're struggling with. So, the 4 right now are. And Jacoby, if anybody else is here, let me know, and I'd love to know your take on this. But here's the 4. So we're seeing right now 4 different things. We're seeing market corrections. We're seeing tech take over and do a whole lot of interesting things there. The customer and the customer service and the customer's mentality has shifted big time. And we're going from a world of 2.0 to a world of 3.0. So Jeff, would you agree that those are some of the ones that are hitting us right now?
Yeah, I think those are pretty relevant and timely to the market that we're entering into, or the market we've been in, for the last 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, agreed. So here's what we're going to do. I want to go through these 4. I'm going to give you why it's a challenge, and then we're going to talk about what you can do. Sound good? So here's the first one. The first one is the market corrections. And Jeff, you and I talk about this all the time. Yet right now, I don't believe that it is the end of the world. I also believe we're going to have some significant challenges. Right? We see interest rates going up. We see more crazy loans beginning to happen, which is odd, right? We're seeing some more like stated income and buy a rental property with a heartbeat kind of things. And we're there's not as much inventory is a struggle everywhere. Even in the spring market, I didn't see the flood of houses in a lot of areas like we usually see.
Right.
And quite frankly, because of that, it's taken longer for us to do our job. Right? If you're a buyer's agent, you got to write 15 offers. It's taking us longer, and it's costing us more to hire. So there's a lot of things. So what do you think about market corrections? Where do you see them in market conditions in the next 9 months, my friend?
Yeah, I was actually just having this conversation with one of my agents yesterday. I've been doing this for 21 years, and I find that the general public perception of the real estate market usually lags 6 to 9 months behind what's actually happening. So,
Yes.
as we see interest rates rise up a little bit, and the buyers that can pay 300 can now only pay 250, might press the pause button on their home search for now. Like, well, I was used to looking at $300,000 houses. These ones at 225 are crap, right?
Yes.
Comparatively. So as the buyer, this big huge pool of buyers kind of becomes more shallow. We're not really going to see the effects of that on any pricing, in my opinion, for the next 6 to 9 months, because home sellers are still going to be hammering away at 2021 prices, right? Man, we're going to throw any ridiculous price on this, it's going to sell. And then it's going to sit there for
crazy that that's still happening. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've had sellers recently that, we listed their house, and 4 days later, like, why don't we have an offer yet? Like, it's been 4 days, man, relax. So
dude, yeah, I feel like, oh, we only got 5 offers. What's wrong? Like, it's weird.
Right. So I think it's going to take us until probably the fall of this year, or maybe even into November, December, when sellers finally realize, oh crap, I overpriced my house. That's why it's still on the market 60 days later.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, and where do you think is going to? Do you think that buyers are going to step up and take action because interest rates are going up, or do you think they're going to cool off a little bit?
I think they'll cool off a little bit, maybe very, very temporarily, maybe take a month or two off to kind of reevaluate their situation. Maybe they're going to see if they can pay down some debt. Maybe they have a car to get their debt to income ratio back in line with their expectations of purchase price for a house. But I think most people that generally have a need to buy a house are not going to completely leave the homes buying process. I think they're just going to kind of, press the pause button. Okay, we can't buy what we could 4 months ago, but what else can we do? Can I get a better job? Can I get my income up? Can I reduce my debt?
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. We're on the same page. All right. Here's the second thing. Second thing that is shift that's happening is tech. So we're seeing a lot happen in the tech world. We talked to a lot of different companies. We were talking with Randy Carroll the other day about all the things they're trying to do. I think we're going to see some emerging leaders, I think, in this next year. But the reality is we saw like Open Door and Redfin and all these companies come in. And Open Door, I think, took over like a 10 to 12% market share 1 year, like that right here in Dallas. So I know that they've gone strong and they've backed off a little bit. Zillow's changing everything he does. But I think the key under all this is the customer's expectations have changed, and the smart people are using tech to really make that happen, right? They don't need us for all the information they used to. They need us for what they can't find out on Google. But really, they're after more of an experience, I believe, than they are our knowledge. And I think that what's interesting is for years we thought that commission was the biggest issue, right? Like if we dropped our commission, we get the listing or whatever it is. Right. What we're realizing is sellers, especially, and buyers, are willing to pay more for convenience.
True.
And simplicity. Agreed?
Right. Oh, for sure.
And I think that the agents that are not able to embrace technology are going to disappear. We had kind of like a warm-up phase, and then we had a like you should be good at it phase, and now we have like a run phase. And if you can't run with technology at a high level, you're going to get your teeth kicked in. So anything you see on the tech side that's going to hurt us, we'll talk about what to do in a second, but anything you see on that side that's going to hurt.
I don't think anything on the tech side is going to hurt us. Like you mentioned things like Open Door and iBuyers, which are kind of going away. When the market was a little bit more difficult 4 years ago, and by difficult, I mean it took 3 months to sell a house instead of 3 days. Yes. People would jump on Zillow, iBuyer, or Open Door and be like, hey, you know what, fine, I'll take a 10% reduction in my price just to have this over with. I don't want to show my house 50 times. I don't want to have to deal with any of that crap or staging my house, or fine, I'll take 10% less. So that takes away the commission argument, right? Like, well, I'm only charging 6%. Why won't they list with us? Because 10% is more convenient, right? But now with the market the way it is, home sellers are looking out there and saying, well, hey, it's not a hassle to sell my house anymore because I know I can stick a sign in the yard. If I hire a professional realtor that's going to take awesome photos and stage it for me, I'm going to get over full price. I'm only going to pay them 5 or 6%. So that's why iBuyers are no longer a worry for most people right now. Video, everyone's been talking about video for the last 5 to 10 years, right? I think agents who do not get on video are going to be missing the boat, because as we see the trend on social media, especially going more to video interface, people would rather watch a video than read your 5-paragraph post. Okay, record a video.
I totally agree. And those that haven't or are resisting are going to get left behind. Right?
Absolutely.
They just are. So when we look at this, let me go back one slide here. Right. So the customer mentality has changed. Customers expect more from us than they ever have. Customers expect, right. Like if Amazon can get something to me in 5 minutes, why can't you? Right. Like their expectations are through the roof. They when the customer looks at something that is good, they view it as not that good. When they think something is great, then they view it as okay. Right. So the customer mentality has really changed well. But I think this slide is interesting. When we look at this, we're talking to our agents. Netflix didn't kill Blockbuster. Ridiculous late fees, were part of what killed Blockbuster. Uber, right, didn't kill taxi business. Limited access, fare control, nasty taxis, right? Like when I still have to go to some of these cities and get in like an actual taxi because they've outlawed Uber, whatever. It's like they're terrible, most of them, right? Apple didn't kill the music industry. Being forced to buy full-length albums killed the music, was what killed the old school way. Amazon did not kill retailers. Poor customer service and a crappy experience, right, killed them. Airbnb isn't killing the hotel industry. Limited availability, pricing options and all that other kind of thing is what's killing them. Technology by itself is not the disruptor. Not being customer centric is the biggest threat to any business.
True.
I think it's a pretty powerful slide, when we look at it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty powerful. So, and so let's get into like the Web 0.2, Web 0.3. What's the difference? And I think it's really important that agents, especially agents and business owners, understand this. So in Web 2.0, right, it was about buying your attention and selling your data, right? Like I come to Facebook for free, but we're going to sell your data. Web 3.0 is about giving you control and having long-term future rewards for your work. So Web 2.0 is like, please buy my painting. Web 3.0 is, right, buy the NFT I created, and you now get to own that thing. And the one who created it is going to make a residual income. If it sells, right, you can have the ability to make a residual income. Like you're going to be able to create, control, and have long-term reward on stuff that you do, right? Web 2.0 was about your attention was the currency. Web 3.0, now that you're able to create and have ownership, you are the currency. Make sense? If you look at Web 2, and we can expound on this in 100 different ways, but Web 2.0, a few are profiting, and now many are profiting. So you look at like the hotel industry versus Airbnbs, right? You look at what it used to take to write a book compared to now I can write one, sell it on Amazon, and get profiting, right? It's not just a handful of people that are making the reward. Web
even on Amazon, most people can now get an affiliate link and they can endorse products and get paid off of some people. Like you don't even have to hold the inventory; just send someone a link, right?
And that's so different and crazy compared to how things used to be. I mean, it's amazing, right? That you can do that. There you go. Like access was hard and took a lot to get in. Right now, it's minimal cost. Like you said, you can become an Amazon seller or just an Amazon affiliate at hardly any cost to you, which is incredible. Had to provide everything. Now we're better paid to be in a niche in a sense, right? People are willing to pay a lot for a highly specialized people. The old school way built for broad, and new school is built for the niche. Work was done in one place, and now it's being done mobily and all over. What stands out to you on that, brother?
The mobile aspect for sure. We recently had our tribe retreat for Hero Nation, and I thought it was awesome. If Justin, if you're watching this, I thought it was amazing. He's running this huge company that manages 3,000 virtual assistants, and he didn't bring a laptop. He worked off his iPhone for 4 days. Like, how do you not have a laptop with you? It was driving me nuts. But we're like, you and me, like we're a little bit older, so we just feel like we just have to have this laptop with us everywhere. Like, why? I can get to my Google Drive, I can get to my iCloud files, everything right on my phone. Why do I need to have my laptop?
Right
Same
there.
thing for the consumer. You're going to text, you're going to send them, your DocuSign, the dot loop, whatever they need to sign. They're going to search either on your app or on Zillow for a house. And, again, going back to the slide before is, Zillow didn't kill, the real estate industry for realtors. Realtors who didn't adapt to, the mobile consumer, killed their own business,
Yeah. Dude, so true. And you even look at like how many agents actually work out of your office on a daily basis, right? Like they come in for
Right.
coffee and a high five, right? Like
Right.
it's such a different world. And I think that there's so many people that are pretending it's same as normal. They're going like, I need my office space, I need whatever, right? Like that's one of the big things to get about EXP is like, where am I going to work? It's like where you're already working, in your car, the coffee shop, your kitchen, like that's where you're already working. So I don't know what we're talking about here, right? I get you need a space to go meet and everything else, but like it's just, you don't have to print everything off. You don't have to do all these things we used to do, and the game is changing. And
Right.
and the most adaptable, the ones that get a hold of this are going to be the ones that win. And we're going to give you some things to do as we go a little bit, further into this. But Web 3.0 is here, right? And it's different. You can see the difference in agent expectations. You can see the difference in, people that we're trying to hire people to work for you, right? It's all changing very, very quickly, and we better listen. Here's what's interesting. I have a lot of business owners say things like, people these days and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is they've got to change. They need to be willing to have way more flexibility. Your agents, your employees, they don't care about 401ks anymore. They care about ownership. They want to have a piece of something. They want to be part of something.
Right.
Connection is important, right? Feeling like they value to make a bigger impact. All these things. I see so many people that are saying, there's just nobody good to hire now. And I'm saying, you just need to change how you're hiring and what you're offering. Agreed?
Right.
Got to be willing to pay more and do things differently. So let's go through these. I want to give you some solutions to all 4 of these, and then we got some amazing must-dos and tools at the end. So first thing you should do is obviously you should get into coaching and join us every single week in Fuel, where we talk about this stuff all the time. Literally, it's like $97 a month. You get access to everything we have. It's crazy. My coach keeps telling me that we should like quadruple the price. So at least for right now, you need to be part of that. But let's jump into these. Let's go through the 4. So the first one is when we go back, right, the market corrections. And Jeff, we talked about this a little bit the other day, but what your agents are doing to win in this market. So as you look at this, it's taking more time to write offers. It's costing more to hire. What are some of the things that the agents need to be doing right now to win? And I'll give you some of mine, give you a second to think, since I gave him 0 heads up about what we're talking about today. But here's a couple of things I would consider if I was an agent right now. I would find ways to make more money per transaction. So I would find ways that how can I get paid when I recommend them the internet, service? How can I, things like that. The other one that I would do is I would look for how to do more in less time. In other words, you can't afford to show every buyer around town on Saturday, right? You just can't. So maybe they fly in, you have coffee with them, give them, hey, here's the 8 places you need to go today that we're going to get back together in 4 hours and do a recap. Maybe you need to leverage out someone writing the offers. You don't have to actually sit there and write out the physical offers. You got to find ways to do more in less time. Agreed? Because True. It's taking longer to do things.
Absolutely. Just being very intentional and proactive with the time you are committing to your real estate business. I just was on a coaching call with one of my coaching clients. I did a team, I spoke at one of her team meetings because some of her agents, Laura's agents, are part-time. They work, 20, 25 hours a week because they have a very busy family life. And I said, you know what, it's perfectly fine. You don't have to work 40 hours a week. Just when you're working that 20 hours a week that you're committing to your real estate career, you just need to be focused and intentional about exactly what you're doing in that 20 hours a week. And you can sell just as many houses as everybody else out there says they're full-time, right?
Amen.
And 20 hours a week.
Yeah, I think it's so true. So true. And we've talked to our clients about how, You need to template more things. You need to make it easier. Instead of
Mhm.
printing one buyer pack at a time, you need to print 50, right? All those little things. Couple things on the market. I would say two more things. Show your sellers where they can go. Almost everybody's a seller right now if they knew where they could go, right? People want
Right.
to tap into their bonus equity. They want to sell, but they don't know where to go. So if you can show them where to go and the options they have as sellers, I think that's huge. The second thing is, we talked about this yesterday, stop working with anybody that's not an A buyer, right? Or at least stop spending a massive amount of time with B and C buyers. If you want a bigger description of that, we'll send you the call from yesterday, but stop spending time with people that are waiting for the unicorn or aren't able to do what it takes to actually get an offer accepted in this market. And then the
Right.
last one would be go further outside of your area to show sellers where they can move. Maybe go an hour out, 45 minutes out, and expose them to builders and opportunities, neighborhoods that maybe they never looked at before that they might be interested in buying if they sold. Anything else that you would
True.
recommend agents do on around the market corrections? Obviously, watch your expenses, etc. But anything else you'd add?
I think market proof your income is one thing I talked to my brokerage about a couple of months ago. The market's going to go up and down. Things are going to fluctuate. Sometimes it's a buyer's market. Sometimes it's a seller's market. Sometimes it's great to work with buyers. Sometimes it's great to be the listing agent, right? And that's going to change every 5 or 10 years, no matter what. So what can you do to market proof your income? One of my suggestions was, buy a vacation property somewhere that you like to go,
Right.
that you can Airbnb when you're not using it.
Yes.
Right. So it's just things like that. Buy a duplex instead of just charging the $1,000 a month for each side rent, Airbnb it. And you're going to make $2,000 a month. You're going to have half the occupancy. Anything you can do to increase different streams of income, like you mentioned, the home security systems. Like, how many of you have got calls from ADT? Hey, did Jim and Mary have a security system? You just sold them a house. Like, I'm not going to mess with this, but hey, if you refer them and they sign up, you get $100 or whatever it is. Making sure
$100 times 100 transactions. Like, okay, now we're talking. That's awesome.
Yeah, making sure you're selling home warranties to your buyer clients if they want to buy one. You get paid on the back end for that, for the referral. There's all kinds of different things that people are not really paying close attention to. So affiliate links, and even Walmart's doing affiliate links. Get involved with, partner up with somebody and do a mortgage company. Look into maybe a title company if there's a need in your market for it. There's all kinds of opportunities out there for realtors to market proof your commission income by doing other things.
Yep, I totally agree. And by the way, if you want to learn about like the mortgage company options, the title company options, the insurance options, send one of us a message, right? Or send Jeff a message, send me a message, or go to, if you just want to make it really easy, you can go on my schedule, pickwaynesbrain.com. You can just go right there and schedule 50 minutes. But like you're talking about, Jeff, one of the things we talked about last year was, is it what's the best route? Maybe it's both, but is it double your transactions, or is it, get paid 2 or 3 ways from each transaction already doing? So is it easier to go from 200 transactions to 400, or is it easier to get paid 4 different ways on the 200? You might want to do both, but if you're not getting paid multiple ways on what you're already doing, you're missing out. Right. So this is this was a summary before Jeff's ads. If you want to take a list or take a picture, but it's find how to do more in less time. Stop resisting the market and lean in. Stop waiting for normal to come back. Create the opportunities. Show sellers where the options where they can go. Only work with A buyers. Go further out than you've been used to. And man, if you're not taking care of your database, you're crazy. But let's get into the what to do on the tech side. So when we look at the tech, it's changed. We're not paid because we hold the information anymore, right? We're not the holders of the information, and we've talked about some of it. But on the tech side, there's 3 things I would consider, and then Jeff, I'll see what you want to add. On the tech side, tech is not here to replace you. So it's not either technology or in person. Tech is here to assist, to help you do a better job, right? Tech is not here to automate taking care of your database. Tech is here to assist you in taking care of your database. So as you look at the tech options, 4 things I would write down if I was watching this. More videos, right? More. Shame on us if we're watching 100 videos and not making 1 or 2, right? More videos. Second one would be, what is the experience like? People will pay well and they'll remember a great experience. Is working with you a phenomenal experience, or are you just trying to get to the closing table? How can you make that experience incredible? Right. And then the third one would be, is it convenient? That's a word we hear a lot from tech, the tech world and developers. Is it convenient? Is it easy, simple, and convenient for the customers to use? Because that's what they're used to, and that's what they're experiencing other places. If they're not experiencing that with you, in the back of their mind, they're saying this is a bad experience. All right. Anything you'd add on the tech side, Jeff?
You mentioned automation, so I think a great tip, and if you're not already doing this, use BombBomb video email service or Loom or one of the other ones that's out there, and just do a screen sharing video for everything you have to explain over and over again. Hey Bob,
Yes.
here's what our purchase agreement looks like. Page 1 says this, page 2 says this, page 3, page 25 says this. Takes you half an hour, right? Record the one screen sharing video, and you're going to use that 1,000 times over the next 10 years, unless your contract changes, record a new one, right? So just automate all those things you have to explain over and over again to clients.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Okay. Here's the third one. The third one is the customer service is changing in the expectation. So what are you doing, Jeff? Are you seeing your clients do to improve? What are some tactical things they're doing to improve the customer experience? What are you seeing on that side?
So really, a lot of my agents get their Zillow reviews, get their online reviews, and one of the top things the people say is, they answered my calls. That's it. Answer the damn phone, right? Answer the damn phone.
Amazing.
Answer their text messages. I mean, how many times as a realtor have you been to lunch and you're like, Joe wants something, you set your phone down, you forget about it, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to call Joe back. It's been 4 hours now. He's probably really mad. He had a question about his listing or something like that, or why am I not getting updates? Just the customer experience, you need to really, this comes natural for some people, the people that are really good at customer experience, but some people it doesn't. You need to really try to take yourself out of the situation. Like, hey, if I was the client, how would this make me feel? How would me showing up to do the open house 1 minute before it starts make my client feel? Because I didn't get there prepare in time. How would it feel if, I was a buyer client and my agent said, I know you want to see 6 houses on Saturday, but I got time for 2 of them. I got my kid's soccer game to go to, so I'll show you 2 of them. That's it.
Yeah.
With no other alternatives on when we're going to see the other 4, right? It's just really, it has to be fun. Do whatever you can to make the whole home buying or selling experience fun. I tell every one of my clients that up front, like, hey, this is, when you're buying a house, this is supposed to be a fun and exciting experience. It's not supposed to be full of stress. No. And we're not supposed to walk away from the closing table hating each other, right? We're supposed to walk away from the closing table high-fiving and hugging because you had an awesome experience. And buying your house is supposed to be a fun and exciting experience. So whatever you could do to make it fun and exciting along the way. One big tip I know that most realtors don't do is, like, if it's something you can solve without telling your client about the mess that's going on, solve it and don't tell them, right? You don't need to get yourself a pat on the back. Well, hey, this one issue came up. Don't worry, I took care of it. Like, don't even freaking tell them about it. They're gonna stress out.
Just
if it's something that you did, just do it. Just do it, and you don't need to get the praise. Just the people that do things in secret are really the real winners out there that are making deals happen.
Amen. Yep. One of the cool activities that we've had some of our clients do, I think we talked about this a little bit last year, is we had them write down, what is a 5-star, like that. They set their teams down. They go, okay, what's 5-star customer service look like? And they wrote those, like, answer my phone, email, right, reply, all that kind of stuff, right? It was like, cool. What does 6-star customer service look like? What is 7-star customer service? What is 8-star? Right. And they kept adding things, having to adjust and everything else as they went up. Yet I think the other side of that is, we're saying this is 5-star customer service, but how much of that is just basic? Like it's not right. Like this is like 2-star, like this is like you did your job, right? Is it really 5-star customer service? And look at what are the things you could do to up it. What are the things you can do consistently to up it and leverage it out? So yeah, I think we're right there. All right, let's talk about my favorite one, and we're gonna veer off course here for a second. Yeah, I think this is important, and Jeff and I agree on some of this, and I know there's things you're doing to help with this as well. So the fourth one is Web 2. As you talk about going from Web 2.0 to 3.0, here's where I see it every day. Right. I see it going from like brick and mortar to the non-brick and mortar stuff. Right. Which is why, Jeff's at Remax and I'm over here at EXP building a brokerage within a brokerage. But here's why, because it works for me. Right. So ask yourself the question of, when you look at these 4 lanes, Are you getting paid in all 4 lanes? Like we talked about, what is, is your commission structure set up in a healthy way? Are you getting residual income, like revenue share with your brokerage? Are you able to have ownership in the company or get stock awards? And then other is, are you building out your affiliate links? Are you figuring out your Airbnb space? Are you doing multiple things to, if you looked into bringing in the title company, the mortgage company, whatever it is. So the reality is most of us got into real estate because we wanted to actually create wealth. Most of us, like Jeff, want to create generational wealth, not just like pay the bills. We want to create wealth beyond that. So Jeff, you can plug your ears for a second if you want to. But back in the day, we had Caldwell Banker, which was great, right? A long time ago. And Caldwell Banker had a 70-30 split, no cap, no sharing, no stocks, but it was awesome, right? It was great at that time. Then, we'll pick on Keller Williams because I was there for 10 years and most of my friends, I have a lot of dear friends that are there. They're all coming over to EXP, but they're still there. I love you. Right. But, KW was awesome. KW had a 70-30 split. It had, the cap was different everywhere, but they started offering some profit share, which was cool. It wasn't much money because most business owners were good at running their businesses. So they didn't show a whole lot of profit, which is another conversation. We'll have that one later. I'll be quiet. And no stock options then, right? So it then in Web 3.0, EXP Realty comes along, Real comes along, but EXP offered, or offers, 80-20 split, $16,000 cap, revenue sharing, which is dramatically different, and stock incentives, right? So when you look at this, I feel like it's just the natural progression, right? When we look back at VHSs and the natural progression, when we look at the music industry and the natural progression, right? This is just a natural progression of the real estate industry. These two things were fine. It's just now we have a whole new opportunity in front of us. So, the old school way was, it was tough to start a brokerage. Right. I started my brokerage within a brokerage without any money. You had to provide everything. New school is I get, in my brokerage within brokerage, I get to coach my people and, right. EXP does the rest. It had to be built for everybody. Right now we can build it for the people that we choose to be in business with, right? All the work had to be done in the office. Now, right, like you're saying, like Justin showed up with a cell phone, drove me nuts too. I'm like, how can you survive with a cell phone? Right then, right, there's no really bigger opportunities. Over here, we can build, you have a brokerage within a brokerage, you can build as large as you want it, right? I got 150 people in my brokerage within a brokerage. Old school, you get paid once in one way. New school, right? We get paid over and over in multiple different ways. So now when I look at my, my brokerage within a brokerage, I'm able to, and I can have a conversation about this later, but I'm getting paid here because I can get my commission back. Right. We have residual income. We have investment income for the company. It just makes sense. So I think what you have to ask yourself is if you're an agent, an owner, or whatever, if you're building a team, if you're not building a team, are you in alignment? And that was one of the coolest conversation. I think one of the coolest conversations we had at Broker Boardroom 2 years ago was when Brandon Green talked about a lot of times we have like this maybe it's a sense of loyalty or we're trying to keep people from growing. But the question is, are you in alignment with who you're working with? Are you in alignment in your goals? Is your day in alignment with where you want to go this year? And I think that's a big part of that entire conversation. So whether you do what Jeff's doing, Jeff, you have a great brick and mortar, right? And you realized that there's going to be some compression over the next several years, I think, on commissions. And you realized that your biggest opportunity was Airbnb, title, mortgage, right? All those kinds of things. And you lead in. And what's cool about that too, is you're now in the future creating opportunities for the people around you as well. So,
right.
Thanks for going with me on my EXP rant for a second. But what's your take on real estate going from 2.0 to 3.0 and how that affects brokerage owners and agents?
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with my agents a couple of weeks ago. My exact words were the traditional real estate brokerage model is slowly dying.
Yes.
Besides EXP, there's I've some people in my group coaching with Hero Nation Fuel, work for Fathom Realty. I got a $4,000 commission cap. $4,000, but they don't get many services with that, of course. But people that, again, some agents don't want to come to office meetings. Some agents don't want to come to office trainings. Some agents would rather just watch whatever they got to watch online and work from their house, work from Starbucks. Yeah. If you can work for a company that's going to, like EXP, that's a 16,000 cap, or a Fathom has a 4,000 cap and you're just going to work out of your house at the coffee shop down the street. Why not? So it's getting tougher and tougher. And I think brokerages out there are feeling the pinch too. It's getting tougher and tougher to make money as a real estate broker, unless you have 20, 30 or 40 agents on, like you said, on a 70-30 split with no cap. Yeah. And most agents out there that know what's out there in the market are never going to go work for a place that offers no cap, right? Even I offer a commission cap here, which is a traditional Remax model. And I've lowered my commission cap over and over again the last few years just to stay competitive with the other brokerages in the area.
Yeah, it really is changing. And I think what's interesting is it's cool because it's going from the few to the many in a sense. So in other words, what it would have taken for you to start a mortgage company 5-10 years ago is very different than what you can do today, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I want people to really get their heads around is the money doesn't need to go to a handful of people. Like once you start your first Airbnb, your stomach turns over with how much you've paid hotels over the past couple of years, right? Right. And I look at some of these brokerages around there, and I think agents should feel the same. Like you should feel a little sick that you haven't got paid multiple ways, and that all of it's gone to one regional manager that you've never met that's on his yacht 8 days out of that was awesome for that guy, right? And he took a big risk. He did a lot of things, right? That was cool. And now it's just different. So if you're not looking for ways to use tech, make more customer-centric transactions easier and simpler. If you're not looking for additional sources of income, you're missing out. And like you said, you'll eventually kind of fade out if you're not careful, right? So here's the three things that we're going to give you. We talked about this a little bit the other day, but the three things we're going to give you: mindset, a couple of tools you need to be using, and then the 3 C's. By the way, if you watch this replay, let us know you watched it. If you want to do a strategy call with Jeff or I, go to theheronation.com, and we would love to do a strategy session with you and see agents win big over the next couple of years. So if you're wondering, like, this is a lot of information, what do I need to implement? What you need to implement is a 20-minute call with Jeff to figure out what you need to implement. It'll save you about 18 hours of trying to figure it out on your own. All right, so here's the mindsets. The mindsets we came up with are these ones. First is you got to be wildly resourceful. You got to be wildly resourceful. The people that win in the next couple of years are not going to be the people that have all the resources. They're going to be the people that got really, really resourceful, right, in their market. Hard compared to what? And we were talking about this one the other day. Like, is it hard to work with buyers right now? Yeah, but what's really hard is going to get a construction job and having to pack shingles up 4 flights of ladders right in the middle of the summer when it's 110. So I don't think this is going to be the easiest market you're in the next little while. But hard compared to what is a really important conversation to have with yourself. Right? Agreed. Like, do you see so many people like psyching themselves out right now and like in the market?
That, and I also, I'm a firm believer in affirmations, but I think one thing that people realize that affirmations work in the reverse way too. If you're out, when the foreclosure crash happened in 2007 and 8, I was in the business then, and you would run into some realtors like, man, the market's terrible. I don't have any listings. I'm never gonna sell anything ever again. And guess what? Half of the realtors in my market quit the business because that was their attitude. I, on the other hand, is like, well, I'm going to go find some banks. I'm going to list their properties. And I was selling 80 houses a year in 2008, 2009, because I found it. But yeah, hard compared to what? In 2008, 9, and 10, it was hard. Everything was a foreclosure. Like every 9 out of 10 houses you showed back then was a foreclosure. Yes. And, HUD wouldn't do any repairs. They wouldn't qualify for financing because they're in rough shape. So where's the buyer going to get the money from? It was really hard. Then when the market started rebounding, 2013, 14, 15, it was still hard to be a listing agent. I had listings that would sit on the market 6 months. We thought were priced right, and they would just expire, right? But now it's hard to work with buyers because you have to show a buyer 20 houses and write 10 offers before you get one, unless you couldn't come up with again some great ways to get your offers accepted, which you'll probably talk about. If not, we can touch on those too. Yeah. But yeah, the market's always hard. You just need to figure out, maintain a positive attitude. Say, yes, this is what we're dealing with right now. How can I be the best at this thing? How can I be the best at getting my buyer's offers accepted?
Yes, amen. And I love that because when you sit down, people go, man, I can't wait for the market to get easier or whatever it is they say.
It's never been easy.
Those of us that have been around for a minute were like at first, like, yeah, that sounds nice. Then we're like, hold on, like when What are you talking about? Like, when was the easy time? Like, because I think I missed it. Like, when exactly are you referring to? And then we go back. We're like, it's never been easy. It's been worth it, but it has not been
Yeah.
necessarily just
Yeah.
easy.
Each different market shift has its own challenges, and you have to adjust to the challenges and become, when it becomes turns to a buyer's market, as a listing agent, you need to figure out, okay, now there's too many listings for the number of buyers. How am I going to get my listings sold?
Amen. Third one is the future's bright. Those of us that survived the last couple of shifts, right? We walked away with market share and resilience and money, right? All the buyers working right now, they're going to buy eventually. So if you take care of them, like you could have a whole bunch. Next one is the third option. And this kind of goes back to being resourceful, but option A and B are not going to work anymore. You got to figure out what's the third option. What's the third way we could do it? What's the unconventional way we could do it? And like we talked about, you got to have the mindset of, I need additional streams of income. So whether that's, mortgage, affiliates, right. Joining a different opportunity, you've got to figure out multiple streams of income. And then the three tools that we talked about yesterday was, you've got to get your schedule readjusted. Right. You've got to ask yourself, in this market, does this schedule still work? If it doesn't, you got to make some adjustments. We talked about delegating. We talked about Sphere Rocket a lot, and finding VAs. And the reality is if you can go with Sphere Rocket, you can hire, you can get a VA for $500 a month. And that's a good wage for them, right? Working 40 hours a week. What could you do if you had someone working for you 40 hours a week? And my guess is a whole lot, because I'm seeing people do it all day long, right? Like that's amazing. But we looked at our, I think yesterday we talked about our delegation funnel. I'll throw it up here for a second. I love, just because I like this thing. Our delegation funnel is looking at this. When something comes on your plate, send out postcards, whatever it is. Can I delete this? If it's something that I need to do, it can't be deleted. It is a must. Then it keeps going through the funnel. The next step is, can I automate it or systemize it? Can I, like Jeff, you were saying, like, can I record the videos so I don't have to say the same thing over and over? Can I automate, paper being delivered to my office, or my meals showing up, whatever it is, right? So can I automate it? Can I systemize it? So I don't have to do it, over and over. If I can't do either one of those, then can I delegate it? Can I give it to someone? Is there someone else that can do this better than me, or do it at, my reference point is, if I can get someone to do it at 75, 80% as good as I do, that's probably when I need to give it away. Right. And I can hire 3 of them and then get, 180%, whatever. And then, so if I can't delete it, automate it or delegate it, then it's mine. Right. But putting things through that, that system is can be very, very helpful. Any other tools right now that you'd recommend, Jeff, that people are using?
Just kind of doing some more automation. If you are a listing agent, doing some more automation on your listings. I realized a couple of years ago, I was spending so much time sending agents lockbox codes to my listings. I just finally started putting the agent remarks in the MLS, like, agent does not provide lockbox code, check your showing time confirmation. So that really that probably saved me 3 hours a week of texting people lockbox codes for Central Lock.
Crazy, yes.
You mentioned hiring a virtual assistant. Speaking about doing videos, I think one of the biggest things people don't, several reasons people don't do video. They don't like they look, how they sound. Once you get past that, okay, what do I do with it once I record it? I don't know how to do video editing. Where do I put it? You're gonna pay someone $500 a month and just shoot a video and email it off to them, and it magically appears on your Facebook feed, all edited with words and everything like that. That's awesome. Just hire a VA to do those things.
Yeah, it's so great. I had this morning when I woke up, I had like 3 videos done and just sitting in my email.
Right.
It was beautiful. That was like 5 hours of Wade sitting on the couch, staring at his phone, trying to be an editor.
Right. Then, of course, regarding the delegation funnel, I think most people stop when you get down to the delegate phase, because you know what, man, nobody can make an open house flyer as good as I can. Right. We all think we're the best at every single thing we can do. Man, no one can print those showing packets like I can. Right. It's
crazy. It's crazy.
Get out of your own way. And like you said, if someone can do it just 80% as good as you think you can do it, give it away. It doesn't need to be doesn't need to be 100% flyer.
She's like, oh, I don't know if there's anything I could give away. And I was like, I love you. That's the most egotistical thing I've ever heard. And we have a good relationship. But she's like, what do you mean? I was like, you don't think there's anything you can give away? right? Like that you're you're that amazing that there's nothing, you know what I mean? And anyway, she started laughing. I was like, okay, let's make a little list, right? Like you're not the only one that can go to the store and buy Cottonelle. Like there's somebody else that can do that, right? Just as, probably just as good as you can. Anyway, it's kind of fun. Speaking of virtual assistants, let me throw this up. Just a shout out to some of our favorite people. The Sphere Rocket Conference is, so these guys help with virtual assistants. So they help you find virtual assistants, help train them, help bring them in, right? All the amazing stuff. And they're doing a conference in like 14 days here in Dallas. We as Hero Nation, right, we went in and we got a bunch of tickets. So I think that we have like 10 left. So if you go to here, if you use that QR code, which hopefully you can see, if you can't, send me a message, you can get a ticket on us as part of the bundle that we have. So that's going to be awesome. We got John Cheplack, Ryan Steuben, one of our own coaches, Chauncey Farm. We also have, there's another surprise. It's not on the flyer, so maybe I'm not supposed to say anything, but I'll tell you, don't tell anybody. Our very own Chris Diana, who is like the godfather of Hero Nation. Like when he speaks, we ought to start writing it down. He is going to be there as a speaker as well. So we got 3 Hero Nation coaches that are going to speak at this conference. It's going to be amazing. Nick Good, Kevin Kaufman, Brian Forsythe. It's anyway, an insane lineup. So get on a plane, train, automobile, and get here for that. Like I said, if you want to come at no cost, you can grab one of ours until they're gone. So when the coach stops working, that means we're out of them. But you can go there and get a ticket. It's going to be great. Even Jeff's flying in for it. Jeff's going to be here. I'm going to be here. We're going to do a Hero Nation party. It's going to be good. Okay, Jeff, we got 6 minutes left. What are some of the ways that we can, maybe what's 2 or 3 ways to get offers accepted, and 2 or 3 ways to find sellers right now? And then I got one thing I'm going to share at the end, which is powerful. What do you got?
Yeah, let's have some notes. So getting offers accepted, we say all the time we work in a relationship business, but we don't spend time creating those relationships with the agent on the other side of the deal. I get offers as a listing agent for my team all the time. I just get offers with no email from the agent, no explanation. Pick up the phone and say, hey, Joe, I just sent you an offer. Bob and Mary are really excited to live in this neighborhood. They're moving back to Adrian from out west. They just retired. They're coming back home. They're really looking forward to being here. Blah, 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 whatever. Just kind of create that relationship, kind of build a story around your buyer clients to help get that offer accepted. And it might, maybe it'll sway the decision, maybe it won't, but you need to try more than just shooting off an email. Hey, here's Bob and Mary's offer. Hope it goes good. Ooh.
Yes, so absolutely. Well, and one of the gals on the call yesterday was even talking about how she does. She'll have her clients, like they'll do a video in front of the house. Hey, we're gonna go to the office and write an offer. Just want to let you know, like, we love the house. We love what you've done with the front yard. Like, yeah. So like getting to know, like being personal and getting to know the agent at a deep level and what they're looking for. Yeah, big.
Second one, sending 2 different offers for the same house. So you're going to see all the time in the MLS, right? Highest and best offers due by Friday at 5 o'clock. And it says, for example, it's Wednesday. Purchase price or list price 400,000. Send an offer for 420 that says, hey, here's an offer for 420. This expires at noon on Thursday. Or here's one for full price that you can accept at your deadline of Friday at 5 o'clock. So it's kind of create a sense of urgency. Like, hey, we're going to pay $20,000 more now. But we don't want to wait till Friday at 5 o'clock. We want to wait, you answer this by noon, or, at noon that expires and you can take our $400,000 offer.
Yes. Dude, I thought that was so brilliant and phenomenal. Yeah, that was awesome. Yep. So good.
Third tip, we talked about doing videos. Turn your camera, record a little video with you and your buyers right as you're leaving the house that you're going to make an offer on. Hey, I'm here with my buyers, Bob and Mary. They absolutely loved your house. We're in the driveway right now. And they just were so excited to tell you about how much they love their house. They couldn't wait till we got back to the office, and turn the camera on them and like, man, we love your house. We love this neighborhood. We went to college down the street. I can't wait to move back to the area. Just record a video like that. Again, you're telling the story around your buyer client and create a relationship before they even meet.
Amen. Yep. I totally agree. On sellers, anything to find? Well, let me ask you this. If you had to go out and find 3 sellers next week and you didn't have the huge database you do now, what would you do? What are the 2 or 3 things you would tell someone to go do if they had to go find 3 sellers this next week?
So I would, of course, work for sale by owners. For sale by owners know right now it's easy to sell their house, right? What they don't know is it's hard to pick from 20 offers they get. So they need to, again, just create that relationship. Say, hey, I'd like to tour your house in case I have a buyer client for it. Never say you have a buyer client if you don't. That's just lying, and they're going to pick up on that.
Amen.
Hey, I'd love to tour your house in case I get new buyers calling me all the time. I'd love to tour your house to see if you have any buyer clients for it. Just start creating that relationship. And oh, hey, by the way, we do offer some other services. I'm not asking for your listing, but if you do get a dozen offers, you need some help. I offer a transaction coordinating service. Just start offering them some services besides actually listing their property. And guess what? Once they decide to list, you're the first person they're going to call. Go through, look up some expired listings that expired back in 2020 or 2021 that still never sold, because maybe they took their house off the market due to the pandemic. Maybe they didn't want to let strangers in their house with COVID. Just go back to 2020 expireds. Hey, I saw you had your house listed in 2020. Are you still interested in selling? Because the market about 30% from when it was then. You could probably get a lot more money for your house if you still want to sell. And then just, geographic farming or door knocking in your neighborhood. When we talk about the make me move price, like, hey, I understand your house isn't on the market, but if someone's to walk up and hand you a check today, what would that check need to, what would the amount need to be to get you to move? Well, it would need to be $250,000, but we can't go anywhere. Great. Where do you want to move to? Well, we want this neighborhood, but there's never anything over there. Then, like you said yesterday, go over and knock on doors in that neighborhood. Yeah, I might have a buyer for your house over here. What kind of price want to make you move tomorrow?
Amen. Amen. I love that. Like, what's the make me move price? Like, right. and just even if it's wild or you think it's crazy, like, what's your make me move price? And almost everyone would sell right now if they knew where they could go. So if you can share stories of like, here's my sellers, here's where they're able to go, here's they decide, here's the 4 things most of us sell. Like, tell those stories, and that's what's going to create a lot of engagement, right? Okay, let me give you 2 last things. First off, if you want to test drive and jump in Fuel, which is our group weekly hybrid group coaching, there is a link to go jump in and test drive it, see if it's right for you. It's life changing. So, and if that doesn't work, send me a link. I know somebody's doing pictures on the screen or whatever. It's hard. So that's the first thing. And then the second one is, I think you need to give 3 C's right now. So the 3 C's that we talked about that you need, I believe right now, are these 3 things. You need to be clear, because clarity gives confidence, right? You need to be clear on what you're doing, what you're not doing. You need to be clear on your goal for the year and the key actions to get there. You also need to give your clients clarity, because that's going to give them confidence, right? One of the things we talk about a lot is like, be empathetic and then give clarity, which leads to confidence. So, right, you've got to help them get clear, give them clarity so they get confident. Second, like we talked about at the very beginning of this, is it's more important than ever to have the right community around you, right? A lot of us are surrounded by or have people in the office or whatever it is that are not in the headspace that we are. Having the right community is critical, which is why one of the main reasons we started the Hero Nation, especially our Fuel coaching program. And then the third thing you need is a coach. You don't have enough time to learn it all on your own right now. You don't have time to have the 50 conversations Jeff's gonna have a week, or the 50 conversations. There's not enough time for you to learn everything on your own. So if you want to get there faster and less beat up, leverage a coach to help you get there throughout the year. If you try to do it on your own, I believe that you can get there. It's just going to take you longer. It's going to cost you more, and you're going to get a real beat up, which means you're going to leave massive amount of opportunity, money, etc. on the table. Agreed?
Yeah, back to the last thing you said, that's one of the reasons I became a coach and a broker, is because I struggled so much my first 6 years. And I did not make hardly any money my first 6 years in the business. My first 2 years, I only sold 2 houses each year. Then I quit for 6 months before I got back in. My agents that work for me sell on average about 5 houses their first year in the business, because I'm mentoring them, I'm coaching them, I'm telling them what not to do. Most importantly, right? Like, hey, just avoid all the crap that I went through. That's why I'm the coach. It's kind of been the story of my real estate career, is doing all the dumb stuff and paying for all the dumb stuff and buying all the dumb programs, so I can tell other people, don't buy that, it doesn't work.
Amen. Yeah, like a lot of times we're curators, right? It's like, I tried 18 different products. Here's the one that actually works. I listened to the 7,000 podcasts. You didn't have to. Here's the 2 to listen to. I read the 50 books. This is the one for you to read. So let us do our job so you can do yours, and not have to pay that huge price. So,
absolutely.
All right, Jeff, final words of wisdom. what would you suggest someone does now that they've watched this and has a conversation?
Really, I think mindset's the biggest and most important thing. Stop complaining to buyer clients. Stop complaining about all of the dozens of houses you had to show them. Stop complaining when they're offered and get accepted. Just acknowledge it. Mope about it for 30 seconds and move on to how can I shift this to a positive? Hey, Bob and Mary, we've written 3 offers and you're not winning every time. I really think we need to reevaluate. Do you have extra money to throw at the deal? Do you want to waive inspections? Do you want to, do you have a uncle that can give you $100,000 out of 401k so you can be a cash buyer?
Yeah.
Just find solutions instead of complaining all the time. People who complain about the market right now will not be in the market a year from now. I can guarantee that.
I guarantee, because we've seen it over and over and over. It's when you start complaining and you put yourself in the victim seat over and over, that's the natural.
Right.
That's just where you naturally end up. Yeah.
Right.
So
that and consistency. Consistency wins over experience every time. So it doesn't matter if you got your license 6 months ago or 6 years ago. If you're consistently out there sending a positive message about the real estate market, doing videos on Facebook and Instagram, calling your sphere of influence, consistency wins every single time.
Amen. Amen. What's that quote? Don't pray it gets easier. Pray you get better. Right.
Right.
I don't pray it gets easier. It's not going to get easier. Just go get better. Right. Like the rocks are going to keep falling. You're either going to get stronger and figure out how to forge a shield, or you're going to get beat up. And which leads to I'm pulling out all the slides. We could go for like 7 hours on this stuff. Right. But here's a good opportunity right now. Right. Like there's comfort zone, which doesnthen really exist right now because you're either going to be broke or out of your comfort zone. Okay. So like you're going to be uncomfortable either way. Just choose maybe the growth side. Then there's fear zone, right? Like lack of confidence, finding excuses, right? Then there's learning zone, dealing with the challenges and problems, acquiring new skills, extending your comfort zone. I've never door knocked before. Cool, right? Everybody, the first time I did it was the first time I did it, right? Like we all have to start somewhere, right? And then there's the growth zone. The growth zone is set new goals, conquer objectives, find your purpose, live your dreams, do the really hard stuff. So at the end of the day, you're really proud of what you did. So I think you have to sit back and ask. One of the things we ask our clients all the time is, ask one of my clients this morning, what do you want to be proud of a year from now? And if the you a year from now was watching your daily actions right now, which ones would they be proud of? Which ones would they tell you to stop doing? Right. But if your future self could come in and watch you for a day, what would their view be? Would they be proud of what you're doing, or would they go like, you're wasting some time? That has nothing to do with who we're trying to be a year from now.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm just trying to be the person my kids think I am.
Amen. Amen. My dog, maybe. my kids are getting smart. Yeah, maybe my dog. Yeah.
They're on to you. They're on to you.
Yes, take action. Jeff is an incredible coach. He teaches several classes to teams and brokerages. So reach out to him if you're interested in coaching, or if you want him to do a class for your group, inspire your agents. Sometimes they hear something amazing when somebody else says it. So he'd love to be that assistant and help you win the game. So reach out, take action. All right.
For sure.
Anything else, Jeff? Ready to go?
No, that's it. Let's make it happen.
All right. Be your own hero. Bye, y'all. Thank you for doing this, Jeff.
Right on. See ya.
See you, dude.